About an hour and a half to 2 hours ago, I had a real problem with my brother. He got trapped in his room. He couldn't get the door open. And he wanted me to slam my knee as hard as I possibly could against the door to try to, jam the door to jam the door open. I have arthritis in my knee. Okay, I did push against the door to the extent that I could, but I just couldn't jam my knee real hard against it. Because my knee is has arthritis. And, there's only, I'm not really willing to push that hard on it. And so he was very mad at me. Eventually, it was my dad, actually, who's 99 years old, was pushed against it with his shoulder and got the door open. And my brother was still angry with me for not managing to push with my knee. But again, I just really can't do that with an arthritic knee. Maybe I should have banged on it more with my shoulder or with my butt or something. I don't know. But, it does feel really bad when you get trapped into a place. One time I got trapped in an elevator. And luckily, I didn't have to go to the bathroom. That would have really been a bad scene. But I was trapped in the elevator for about an hour or so. Now, my ex-husband heard the two men who freed me from the elevator talking about it. And one of them, who was like the maintenance man at the apartment complex, said about my reaction that she was much calmer than a lot of people were. I tend to be, very nervous and overreact. But he said, people don't like it at all. They get really upset about it. And he remarked on how relatively calm I seemed, considering that I'd been, stuck in there for over an hour. And that he's had a lot of people yell at him. And he said, I don't design the elevators. And people get very, very upset about it. And it's kind of understandable because nobody likes being trapped, just for the same reason that nobody likes being jailed or imprisoned. And let's and even in a very humane jail or humane penitentiary, if you can't leave, you're in jail. And if you can't leave, you don't like it. Yeah. But it is an odd thing, but even though I'm more nervous than the average person, I can react more calmly to some situations than most people do. And I didn't yell at anybody because I got trapped in the elevator. Yeah. And and my brother yelled at me because he got trapped in the his room. And I failed to smash my arthritic knee against his door. I don't know if it would have done any good anyway. No matter how much I pushed on it with my knee. I mean, I don't know if it would have even liberated him or not. But, he didn't like being stuck there. And I understand that. Because, nobody likes being stuck. in a room where you can't get out. And, that kind of makes you think of what it's like to be imprisoned. It is pretty bad. It's always pretty bad. And it is understandable that, it is a pretty terrible punishment. But again, it is necessary. But, we should never call it a country club. Or, it's people, when people do that, that's kind of sarcastic, Gene Harris complained about it, about people comparing, saying this place